EduVerse PD Podcast, brought to you by ProEd Education Solutions, your on-the-go professional development. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the EduVerse PD Podcast. Today, our AI co-hosts, Andy and Liz, are bringing you an inspiring conversation from an exclusive interview with Judy-Ann Green, featured in EduVerse Newsletter, Issue 22, August 2025. In this interview, Mastering the Moment, Teaching from the Heart, Leading with Purpose, Judy-Ann shares the story behind her book, The 4 Pillars That Shape Her Teaching Philosophy, and her reflections on leadership, resilience, and the needs of today's learners. Let's hand it over to Andy and Liz to dive into this powerful interview.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Andy.
I'm Liz, and we are your hosts.
That's right. Today, we're really digging into the work of an extraordinary educator, Judy-Ann Green. She's a speaker, an author, someone who's genuinely made a difference in education globally.
Absolutely. And our mission here, for you listening, is basically to give you a shortcut to understanding her approach, drawing from, well, her incredible global experience and her book, Mastering the Moment.
And when we say global, we really mean it.
Oh, yeah. Judy-Ann Green isn't just, well-known. She's internationally acclaimed. She's won major awards, Teacher of the Year, outstanding leadership. Her work spans the UAE, the US, the UK, Jamaica.
Wow.
Yeah, holding all sorts of roles. IB specialist, curriculum framework theorist, pastoral leader, literacy coach, master teacher. I mean, the list goes on.
So what we're aiming for today is to kind of pull out the most impactful bits, the real gems from her profile, her book, and give you something genuinely actionable.
Exactly. Actionable wisdom. That's the goal.
Okay, let's unpack this. Every big idea, every book often has a spark, an origin story. And for Judy-Ann Green, the inspiration for Mastering the Moment started somewhere pretty unexpected.
Right. Not in a classroom, surprisingly enough.
No. Picture this. Doha Airport. She's there probably, rushing, thinking about her flight.
Yeah, the usual airport chaos.
Exactly. Yeah. And suddenly she hears Ms. Denton. Turns out it's a former student from 17 years ago, back in Dayton, Ohio.
17 years. That's amazing.
Isn't it? And this former student is emotional, looks her right in the eye and says, "You changed my life." Just like that.
Wow. I mean, talk about impact. That must have been quite a moment.
Absolutely. And it didn't just stop there, did it? That encounter really stuck with her.
It really did. Because just days later, she's doing an accreditation visit, and another educator comes up to her, inspired, saying they want to do more, be better at their craft because of her.
So 2 moments back to back.
Yeah, and that was the lightning strike for her. She realized learning communities everywhere were just, well, she said starving for renewal, for strategies that actually work.
Starving. That's a strong word.
It is, and it led her to this really deep question. How could I reignite the why? That initial passion that brings people into education.
And also, importantly, how to restore parents' faith in the system.
Right, exactly, which is so crucial. So the book essentially became, as she puts it, a love letter to every educator who needs that reminder you hold the power to change lives.
Mastering the Moment. It's a powerful title. But let's be real. Classrooms today are intense, fast-paced, sometimes overwhelming. What does the moment actually mean in that context? Can you really master anything in that kind of environment? I was really struck by her example, calling parents before the school year starts.
Yeah, that simple phone call.
Just to say, I see you. Your child matters to me. That feels like mastering a moment right there.
That's precisely it. Mastering isn't about perfection. It's about intentionality, making every single interaction, even the tiny ones, count.
So a split-second choice.
Exactly. Choosing compassion when a kid's frustrated instead of snapping back. Taking that extra second to really listen when a parent calls, even if you're busy. Those choices can literally change a child's whole day.
Or maybe even their whole outlook on school.
Absolutely. And crucially, the moment isn't just about the kids. It's also about the educator's own well-being.
Yeah.
You have to be intentional about self-care.
Because you can't pour from an empty cup.
You just can't. Trying to lead straight to burnout, we see it all the time.
That reframing is so important. Self-care isn't selfish. It's necessary. She also uses that phrase, teaching has always been heart work for me. What does that actually look like, this heart work, especially now?
Yeah, in a world so focused on data and scores, what does heart work mean? Well, she tells the story about mediating a meeting where a teacher was being really harsh with a student, just listing failures, and Judy-Ann shared her mantra. We must seek to look at students not as they are, but as what they will become.
Seeing the potential, not just the present.
Exactly. And apparently 3 weeks later, that same teacher came back and whispered, "Mrs. Green, it worked."
Wow.
So heart work is about seeing that future self, that potential, beyond the current behavior or grade. And, this isn't just feel-good stuff. Research backs it up.
Like Daniel Goleman's work.
Precisely. Emotional intelligence, self-awareness, empathy, relationships, it's all essential for effective education. This isn't soft pedagogy, as some might dismiss it. It's vital work. It prepares kids for life.
Okay, so we have this idea of intentionality, of heart work. How does Judy-Ann make this practical for teachers, for parents? She talks about the 4 pillars of classroom victory.
Right, and these aren't just abstract ideas she read somewhere. These pillars come directly from her own experience, her soul, working across 3 continents.
So lived experience, not just theory.
Exactly. And what she found are these universal truths, things kids need everywhere, whether they're in, Kingston or Kettering or Kansas City.
And what are those universals?
Fundamentally, kids need to be understood. They need to feel capable. They need to feel like they belong. And they need to really know that their teacher believes in them. These 4 things are the foundation.
Let's break them down. Pillar 1, holistic student development. She calls it the Wilberforce pillar. Why Wilberforce?
Wilberforce is her alma mater, a historically Black university. And her philosophy is simple. You cannot teach a child you don't know, and you can't reach a heart you have not touched. At Wilberforce, she felt nurtured as a whole person, intellect, spirit, everything, so that became her model. In the classroom, it means seeing the whole human.
Not just the student sitting at the desk.
Right, their joys, their fears, what's happening at home, their culture. When kids feel seen and safe as whole beings, not just grades on a page, that's when real learning happens. Trust comes first.
That personal connection really shines through. Okay, pillar 2, academic excellence. This one's the MIGO pillar. How does she blend academic rigor with that connection piece? Like you mentioned a strategy, BEAM.
Yeah, the BEAM strategy. So Miko University College is where she learned that high expectations paired with high support ignite classroom magic. It's not about lowering standards. It's about providing the right support to reach them.
So what does BEAM actually do?
Okay, so BEAM is a way to weave literacy skills into every subject.
So it makes literacy active, not passive.
Exactly. It becomes a tool they use everywhere. And that intentionality builds confidence. Students start believing they are brilliant, which naturally leads to better academic results. It's not just about chasing scores.
Yeah, I can see how that would build real confidence, not just test-taking skills. Okay, pillar 3, community and culture. The whole "it takes a village" idea. How does she suggest schools really build that partnership with parents and the community?
Well, a key shift she pushes for is moving from talking to parents to talking with them.
Subtle but important difference.
Huge difference. It means seeing families as genuine partners, valuing their insights about their child just as much as the teacher's professional knowledge.
So tapping into the parents' wisdom.
Exactly. And creating a school culture where students feel safe bringing their whole selves, their language, their culture, their background, without feeling judged or like they have to hide parts of who they are. That builds real belonging.
Makes sense. More hearts invested, like you said. And the final one, pillar 4, embedding roots. This one includes personal stories, reflections. Why was that important for her to include?
Because those stories show the raw, beautiful truth of teaching, the human impact. They're meant to connect with the reader on a deeper level, to remind educators why they started.
So it's about the why again.
Yeah, it's a reminder that effective teaching, the kind that truly lasts, flows from that authentic human connection. It turns a job into, well, a calling.
Okay, shifting gears slightly. The world is changing so fast. AI, new jobs we can't even imagine yet. What do learners really need to thrive, not just survive, in that future?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Judy-Ann's take is interesting. Yes, technical skills are vital, critical thinking, problem-solving, using tech effectively. And she points to places like the Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence for solid research on that.
Right, the practical stuff.
But beyond that, she argues students desperately need soul skills.
Soul skills. Okay, tell me more.
Things like emotional intelligence, wisdom, the ability to see clearly amidst all the noise, compassion, resilience, these aren't extras. She believes they're fundamental for navigating a complex world and, as she says, to heal our broken world.
Heal our broken world. That's a powerful framing for education's purpose.
It really is. It broadens the scope considerably.
And speaking of navigating complexity, Cultural awareness, inclusion, these are obviously huge for Judy-Ann.
She's very practical about it. For example, before school even starts, she learns every student's name and one personal fact about them.
Wow, that takes effort.
It does, but she sees it as saying, you matter, before they even walk in the door. She also insists on using culturally responsive materials stuff where kids actually see themselves reflected.
And it's learning more relevant, too, I imagine.
Absolutely. And things like inclusive assessment practices, really building those authentic connections by respecting diverse values, whether religious or moral. Her core belief is simple. Every child deserves to walk into a classroom knowing they belong.
It's about belonging, not just diversity quotas.
Exactly. Genuine inclusion.
Looking back at her own journey, this vast career, was there one moment, one experience that really stands out as transformative for her as an educator?
She often points to her time at Richard Allen schools. She'd been spotted at Wilberforce by Dr. Jeanette Harris, who hired her. But it wasn't just a job. Dr. Harris, along with Dr. McIntosh and Dr. Michelle Bozeman, they actively mentored her.
Really invested in her.
Totally. They poured into her, she says, gave her PD, job shattering, groomed her for success with real intention. And that experience fundamentally showed her that great educators aren't just born, they're nurtured, they're cultivated.
That really highlights the power of mentorship, doesn't it? Investing in teachers.
Hugely important.
We also talked about resilience. Education is demanding leadership even more so. How does she maintain her own spirit, her energy through all the pressure and change?
She's incredibly intentional about her mornings. It's a non-negotiable routine for her. She gets up early, watches the sunrise, reads the psalm, prays, and then journals. With mint tea. No sugar, just pure clarity, as she puts it.
A daily ritual.
Yes. She calls it her intentional soul care. It's what grounds her, helps her process things, keeps her spirit strong. For her, resilience isn't about being tough. It's about having the tenderness to keep caring, the wisdom to learn, and the faith to keep believing in what education can do.
That's a beautiful definition of resilience, gentle replenishment, as you put it earlier.
Yeah.
Now, before we wrap up, her book is dedicated to her father, Joseph Nathaniel Denton. His influence seems profound. What was it about his legacy that shaped her so much?
Her father had this amazing ability, it seems, to see the value in people that maybe others missed. He taught her to be present, to really see people, and he lived by this mantra.
What was that?
Do good, even when no one is watching. The good you do will follow you and your generation to come, as well as the bad you choose.
Wow, powerful.
Isn't it? And he lived it. Quietly, helping people, buying school uniforms, paying college fees, making sure families had food. His belief in people, his value for humanity, that's woven right into the fabric of her work. His conviction is her conviction.
What an incredible foundation.
Yeah.
So Judy-Ann Green's journey has taken her all over the world. Reflecting on all that, what do you think are the common threads, the shared hopes, maybe the shared struggles that connect classrooms globally?
Yeah, despite all the surface differences, Judy-Ann points to this simple, beautiful truth. The light in a child's eyes when they finally understand something in Kingston is exactly the same in Kettering.
Yeah, it hits home.
It does, right? Kids everywhere just want to be seen, valued, know their dreams count. That's universal. But so are the struggles, unfortunately. Teachers, families, wrestling with resources, lack of recognition, fear for their kids' futures.
But the solutions are universal, too.
That's her hope, because the solutions come from our shared humanity, connection, belief, safety, inclusion. Those things work everywhere.
So if there was just one takeaway message Judy-Ann hopes stays with everyone who reads her book or hears about her, work teacher, parent, policymaker, anyone, what would it be?
The core message is crystal clear. Be intentional in every moment.
Intentionality again.
It's everything to her. That focus transforms mundane things. A good morning becomes a connection. An interaction becomes a teachable moment. A classroom becomes a community where every single child knows they matter.
It ripples outwards.
Exactly. Building strong relationships with students is essential for well-being, ensuring a safe learning environment and boosting academic achievement. That intentional relationship building, that's the key.
Which brings us to a final thought for you, our listener, inspired by Judy-Ann Green. That student needs you to master this moment. Will you answer the call to transform lives one interaction at a time?
It's a powerful question to sit with.
It really is. How can you apply that principle intentionality, heart work in your world? Whether you work in education or not, something to think about.
What an inspiring journey Judy-Ann shared with us today, reminding us of the power of teaching from the heart and leading with purpose. Thank you, Andy and Liz, for guiding us through such an uplifting conversation. If you'd like to explore the full interview, be sure to download EduVerse Newsletter, Issue 22, available now on www.proed.com.vn/eduverse. It's filled with powerful insights and practical wisdom for today's educators. And remember, your voice matters too. If you have stories, experiences, or strategies that could inspire the global education community, we encourage you to submit your article to EduVerse and join the global EduVerse community of educators and innovators. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next episode of the EduVerse PD Podcast, brought to you by ProEd Education Solutions.